Gabi has a complete heel turn in personality. The worst writing ever in the thing. Way worse than the ending. Holy shit, it's so stupid. Team with Gabi. No, but this is just a horrible scene, right? Okay, let's review episode 77, yeah. It's just like, Gabi has this epiphany, right? Suddenly Gabi is like, oh, I see now! I'm the bad girl! I killed Sasha even though I shouldn't be fighting the aliens, right? And this is so terrible, right? Because you see how Falco has like a continuation development, right? So her boyfriend, right? He goes like that, right? And he's like slowly understanding that they are doing this when it's wrong, right? He's like trying to think about, you know, empathy and sympathy, right? Trying to understand what's happening with the Morleys and the aliens, and you know, he's trying to get it, right? But of course, Gabi's always like, they're evil, they're Satan, they're demons, you know, and she's always that, you know, 100% crazy woman, right? And then suddenly here, she just snaps. She just does like a 180 heel turn, right? Complete zero build up, as I mentioned, right? Whatever spoiled, it really reminds me of 86 actually, right? Yelena from last season. Or last year, I mean, same thing there too, right? Also why it's a terrible too, right? Because it's like Lena, same thing. She just completely changed personality in episode 8, yeah. What's happening here, right? Gabi is literally does a heel turn, right? Completely. And it just doesn't have any build up for that. There's no build up. It's suddenly she just has, you know, like an epiphany over and over again, right? Like it's all the scene, yeah. This is literally what's happening. Her face is like, huh? Yeah, what? I'm the bad girl? Right? And he has an epiphany, and suddenly she's like, I hate the Marleys, they lied to us, they were trying to trick us, and it's just so stupid, right? Because the issue with Gabi has many issues, and one main issue with Gabi is that she's like the perfect Gabi Sue, right? In almost everything except just common sense. She's perfect for a warrior, she can trick people, manipulate people, right? And she's very manipulative and stuff, but at the same time, she has zero empathy and sympathy, right? It doesn't make any sense. You can't have a character that is really good at tricking and lying and so on, but also themselves being fooled by the most obvious lie, right? And suddenly in the scene again then, Gabi is like, oh, I get it now! And she's like, I understand the true history of the aliens or whatever, right? And suddenly it's like she has this, you know, again, epiphany, Jesus moment, right? That makes no sense. Suddenly she can see the truth and the light, and I understand the paths or whatever, yeah. It's just so bad because, again, right, it comes out of nowhere. There is no build-up for this thing. There is no, like, because every other scene, right, when Gabi has talked to, you know, the girl, right, and the family of Seth and so on, she's trying to kill them, right? She's trying to kill them, she's trying to stab them and so on, yeah. There is no, like, progression, right, in her personality. There isn't. She's here, she's like, you know, she just moves in a straight line, right? Bam, 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 and then here, suddenly, she's like, bam, yeah, suddenly she's like a, you know, a complete turn. Where, of course, Falco, as I mentioned earlier, he's been moving like that, right, like slowly, you know, building up his view, right, but she's like, you know, and that's just terrible writing, and, of course, the issue is always with Gabi is that she's like plot character, right, she's always like, why is she in the scene when Aaron is saying, hey, Mikasa, doesn't make any sense, why is she there for? She's just there, right, to, I don't know, be a plot device, right? Why is she the one to kill Sasha? Because, again, Gabi's plot device. Why, no, it's right, and I don't want to spoil here, but, you know, this is, I say it immediately, this is why I hate Gabi so much, because when I read it in the manga, I immediately could tell that, okay, Gabi is now gonna do something else stupid, right? Like, equally kind of killing Sasha. We're gonna have a next, you know. So, an issue with Gabi is that it's incredibly predictable, right? Because she's gonna have a new scene now, in next episode, obviously, where she's gonna do something bigger, right? Because, you know, she's had a complete heel turn here, right? And that's gonna keep going, right? So that's why Gabi is a terrible written character, because she's the most plot device character I've ever seen in my life, right? And you always know it. And also for that matter, I predicted this scene, right? I predicted this scene a year before it happened. I predicted it. I was like, Gabi's gonna have a 180 heel turn without no build-up. It's just gonna happen. She's gonna do a personality swap immediately and change side or whatever. And I predicted that exactly, like in the manga, way before it happened in the episode, like a year before at least, I think. And here it is, right? So I think, honestly, this, in my opinion, is arguably the worst scene in Attack on Titan, if all the scenes. And people hate the ending, right? Whatever. This scene is way worse, in my opinion. But the ending is terrible crap too. Also, the Gabi is also terrible ending. But whatever. I truly, truly hate this scene so much. It's so bad writing. It's just like it's the highlight of Isayama's issues, right? Because I say it here, and I said it many, many times. I probably say this, right? Attack on Titan is like amazingly well written from like a world building, from a premise standpoint, right? But the issue of the Titan is the characters, right? The characters, some of them just make no sense, right? The actual like personalities, yeah. And Gabi, of course, being number one of the worst written characters, right? So I think this is like the worst writing he's ever done. And he's really good at, you know, the whole rumbling and the premise and the mystery and the twist and the basement and so on, right? But he's not very good at like making believable characters, right? Like this is really where that shines. Like this is like, oh my god, this scene is so stupid, and the follow up is gonna be even dumber. So it's just like, oh my god, I'm having seriously, like not jokingly, I feel small issues of PTSD seeing this scene because I hated it so much when I read it, and I just feel like, oh god, it's coming back to me how much I hated this, I loathed this scene. When I read it the first time, and this is like, oh god, this is the right. Like the voice acting is making it worse. Yeah, she's a great voice actor, but holy shit, do I hate this scene so much? It is the worst scene, I think. And also, I mean, generally speaking, the continuation of it is gonna be even worse, right? So truly horrible. Got you! I love this scene. This is the best scene, though, of course. Pieck pops up there, is like, stupid Zeke. I always could outsmart you. So this, however, though, is a good writing, right? Interesting enough in this episode because, yeah. Pieck, I said in the report that Pieck is always shown as the smartest girl in the anime, right? Or, I mean, of all the characters, really, right? Should even do the end here. She's the smartest character. Because you remember, right, when they were trying to trick Pieck into that, that the basement hole thing they built, right? When, of course, Aaron attacked him, so, right? Pieck was like, you know, I'm hugging you, or this is a trap. You know, go and escape, get this thing, yeah. So Pieck is, you never trick Pieck, right? Pieck is always that character that is like super aware. She's always like, oh, that's clearly a trap, or that thing's gonna happen over there, right? You know? And Zeke is always like, as expected by Pieck, right? So I do love this scene at Zeke. I love this scene, my favorite, absolutely. I love it, yeah. How Zeke is like, they killed Pieck-chan? Oh, that's too bad. I always suspected her. She was just an intelligent, you know, partner and so smart and so on, right? And then she's like, bam! I killed you, Sparky! And he's like, god damn it! Pieck-chan! You know? So I love it, because he just complimented how smart she is, and how, you know, how much he liked her, and how impressive she was. And then she shoots him in the head. Yeah, it's like, god damn it, you know? He's like, he should have known, right? He should have, as I keep saying, as expected by Pieck, right? The stupid monkey should have known that she was gonna own him, yeah. Like, he even just said it, right? He was like, man, I'm surprised to kill Pieck, because she's so intelligent. Yeah, how did they, you know, manage to kill her, right? But of course she just fake died, yeah. She just left her body there so they could, you know, could trick the aliens, right, and get her. You know, lives taking, right, yeah. So, yeah, I think it's one of the best scenes, right? It's but as I mentioned, especially because Zeke just said that, I wonder how they killed Pieck. She's like a genius girl. How did they trick her to die, right? And she's like, and he's like, wait a minute. And then he stares at the sniper, right? And he's like, oh shit! Yeah, and they almost kill him. Unfortunately, he doesn't die, right? But he almost dies. Yeah, they hit him because the bullet actually hits. You know, Pieck hits him inside the beast Titan form, right? So he almost dies, right? And then you see Zeke and Aaron, of course, trying to, you know, come up together, right? And I also really like this scene, honestly. I said it kind of jokingly in the reaction, but he actually does say it, right? I like it. I mean, yeah. When Zeke appears, he's like, you know, he attacks Rainer, right? And saves Aaron, and then he's like, leave my brother alone! I love it. Oni-chan is here! I love this scene, yeah, too. He just had like a moment there, and he's like, that's my brother! It's my Toto! I'm Oni-chan! And then Pieck appears and shoots him instead, yeah. And she's like, don't touch my friends, you know? Because obviously Pieck is, you know, more in line with you know, the older Titans, right? Yeah, she's like, don't hit my friends with your stupid baseball moves, right? So yeah, it's a nice Titan World War here. It's like everyone's kind of fighting each other and so on, right? One thing, you know, that I look forward to, hopefully going to happen here, and I keep saying it, right? I look forward to this moment where it feels like, because we see it with Falcon so on, I look forward to the moment where the Marleys and the aliens are like, you know what, maybe we should team up, right? Because clearly the monkey guy and, you know, his brother, they try to kill everyone or something, so we probably should be in the same side in this thing. I mean, Zeke is like destroyed all the Marley blimps, right? And I said in the reaction again, I said in the last review, right, and I talked about the Marley versus the alien war, right? Why the Marleys have a really much better military advances, right? And it makes sense they're defeating the aliens, because the aliens have never fought like actual countries. The whole blimp thing is just really, really moronic, though, right? So I do love it, as I keep saying, that he just killed them all, right? Yeah, that he just sank all those the blimps, right? Because Of course, the blimps was used by the Germans, right, in World War One and Two, kind of middle and so on, right. But it is literally one of the worst things ever, right, in military history. Because obviously, if you're flying a blimp, right, you're like, no, yeah, it's so easy, right, for the other countries, the other defenses to shoot them down, right. Like, the blimps are one of the absolutely worst thing ever done in military, right? Because yeah, it's like a super slow moving thing, right, in the sky. And also the blimp, the actual blimp thing is really stupid too, because it has so little military power for its size, right? Because how blimp actually works is that you have this little tiny, you know, cockpit or so on, right? People are inside of it, right? As you see in Titan, right? And the rest of it is a gigantic air, right? Just, you know, hot air kind of thing, right? So nothing else really matters, right, in the blimp thing. It's like the size of the blimp, it only represents maybe like 5 or 10% of actual equipment, right, and military. The rest is like, you know, air, right? It's just big, right, big volume. So it also has a very little power compared to like a normal airplane. Has basically the same kind of size, right? Yeah. So it's just the worst thing ever. And obviously, you can look at the blimp being replaced by the helicopter, something like that, right? But yeah, it's like one of the worst things ever. And when blimp were invented, first they were kind of used for tourist attraction, right? You know what I mean? And they tried to use it in war, and they have the burning of the blimps and so on. And it's just like, so I think it's a great scene, really. when he kills them all, yeah, it's a great scene. And Yelena's like, yeah, that shit was awesome. You're like, yeah, that's kind of how it would be in reality, because again, blimps are absolutely terrible. Yeah, it's just the worst thing you could ever use in war, right? And that's a great scene too, for that matter, because Yelena was just standing there being like, oh, he's killing them all, the Titan, the beast, because he's so in love with, you know, ZEKE, right? And him murdering everyone. She's like, oh, as expected by ZEKE-sama, right? And then of course she stared at the army and was like, talking about my ZEKE, my god. That was a great scene. Yeah, had a good episode, except of course the Gabi scene is like the worst scene ever. And I keep saying it, but I think it's worse than the ending. Okay, unless if the ending is gonna be redone, because I wouldn't be surprised if the ending in the anime is gonna be worse than the manga. Right? I said before, I wouldn't be surprised, right? Because he redid the manga ending, it was even worse. I wouldn't be surprised if Isayama was like, I have rewritten the ending for the anime. That's even worse, right? That's what I'm expecting. Honestly. But anyway, guys, subscribe, press the like button, and yeah, I'll see you guys next week. And yeah, Yelena's favorite is the best part, man. This scene was great, yeah. And she's like, oh, you're talking about my god? It was great. Yeah, that I was like, what? That thing scared me, guys. That thing scared me. The reaction. Suddenly, Yelena just stares at an army, like, what are you talking about? Oh, it was awesome. But then afterwards, she's like, he smiles, like, oh, it's no problem. That should be on me, Sean. Oh, this was scary, man. But as I said in last year's review about Yelena, she's the most fanatic person, right? He's more fanatic than ZEKE himself, right? You know, ZEKE is a clear genocidal fanatic person, but she's even worse. Yeah, I mean, she's like, she knows what's happening, kind of with ZEKE and Eren, right? And it's like, and loves it. Yeah, she's like, oh yeah, it's the dream. but yeah, this scene is freaking scary, man. That was okay. That ZEKE getting owned is still the best in my peak, though. But otherwise, this scene, yeah, the Yelena like getting like off by seeing everyone dying, and Yelena standing there being like, oh yeah, everyone is dying, and she's having, you know, like an orgasm, and everyone dies, and then she stashes at Armin, and yeah, it was good. It was a great scene, man. Oh, I loved it. But yeah, subscribe, press the like button. I'll see you guys soon with Demon Slayer. So yeah, a few minutes break, 5 minutes break, and then see you guys with Demon Slayer. Episode 14, I think, whatever, right? You know, it was really good last episode, the Daki and so on. So yeah, see you guys and have a great day.